It's Kelly and Snuggles here from Tutoring Tips for Teachers. We have a tip for you today about free advertising for your tutoring business. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like to get tips on how to grow and start your tutoring business. That is what we're all about. And my tip today is really geared toward tutors who are tutoring as a side hustle, especially if you are teaching in the classroom full time, you're doing this on the side. Maybe this is your way, your exit strategy out of the classroom, like it was for me, or maybe you just want to make some extra money. However, you're going about doing it, you probably don't have like a huge budget to pour into your tutoring business, and nor should you, because the beauty of tutoring is that it really doesn't cost that much money, if any money at all, to get it up and running and to operate it, and keep it going at a really high level. You can do that for a relatively low price compared to other side hustles out there. So I don't want you to spend any money on advertising because you don't need to. And I know there are a lot of channels and other people out there saying that you can do Facebook ads and you can do Instagram ads and TikTok, whatever, this and that. I'm telling you that you don't need to do that. If you are patient with yourself, if you're diligent and consistent with your marketing, then it should be free for you. Not gonna say I've never paid for ads, because I did when I first started. Then I was listening to the advice out there that you should be doing Facebook ads, and I did throw $50 away on Facebook ads, got 0 leads, and that was my lesson in paid advertising, that it is not for me. And I'm very happy that it was only $50 that I lost, because I've heard about a lot of tutors who lost a lot more money than that. So free advertising, that's what this is all about. And I'm going to give you 5 tried and true methods to advertise your tutoring business for free. And if you stick around all the way to the end, I'm going to give you a bonus method that really, really works as well, and that you're not going to hear about too often. But number one, the number one, and these are in no particular order, I should say, but we're going to talk about first. The first thing we're going to talk about is flyers. Good old-fashioned flyers that you put up on a post in your neighborhood, at the local coffee shop, at the local library, wherever they let you put up flyers in your community. You can use flyers to advertise your tutoring business, and you can use flyers for online tutoring. You can use flyers for in-person tutoring. It doesn't really matter, because remember, and I've said this several times, many times on this channel before, online tutoring doesn't mean that you're tutoring students across the world. Online tutoring can be very local. I tutor online. One of my students lives right on my street. I could walk to his house in 2 minutes and tutor him, but for many, many reasons, which I can get into in another video, online tutoring is much more effective for him, for the type of tutoring I'm doing with that student, and it's more convenient for his family, and it's also more convenient for me. So for many reasons, online tutoring is wonderful, not just because you can tutor anywhere in the world, you can do it locally as well, and it is very effective for a number of reasons. So flyers for tutoring online or in person, get those flyers up there. And here's a tip, a super duper tip for you about flyers. I learned this from a friend of mine, actually, who built her piano business. It has quite a large, successful piano teaching business, and she built it on flyers in the neighborhood. And she gave me this great tip. Don't forget to use good old-fashioned pull tabs on your flyers, because you can't assume that everyone has their phone with them or knows how to take a picture of a QR code. Some people prefer to use pull tabs. So put those pull tabs on there. What harm does it do? And put the QR code on there as well. And you can also put your website and other contact information on your flyer, and give the parents lots of different ways to contact you. And that's how you're going to have a super successful flyer. That, and where you post it, you got to post it in the places where your families are going to be, at the park, at the coffee shop, wherever your families and your students are hanging out. That's where you need to post your flyers. And that's how you're going to have a successful flyer strategy to get more students. Okay, number two, just checking my notes here. Number two is Facebook groups. So a lot of times on Facebook, I'll see people posting into different Facebook tutor groups like the Tutoring Tips for Teachers group or other tutor groups. There's so many of them. People will be posting, how do I find more students? And other tutors will reply back, Facebook. And that's true. That's very, very true. But Facebook is like a whole big universe, and we have to narrow it down to where the students actually are and where you're going to actually find them. So there are different strategies that you can use on Facebook. I had a course actually about advertising your tutoring services on Facebook for free, and I'm one of my to-do list is to revamp that course and get it back out there for you so you can learn more about how to advertise on Facebook for free. But in a nutshell, there are different strategies that you can use, but the one I'm going to talk about in this video is Facebook groups. There are two kinds of Facebook groups. There are private Facebook groups based on like a certain interest, like parenting groups or parents of students with ADHD, learning disabilities, dyslexia, etc. Local parenting groups. So there are those private Facebook groups where you often cannot advertise, but it's still a good idea to join them and listen to what people are saying and get involved in conversations there, because you can network in those private Facebook groups, even though you can't advertise. Now, the other type of Facebook group is buy and sell groups, which are often private as well. Well, they are private unless you're on Facebook Marketplace. So buy and sell groups, get into those buy and sell groups that are geared towards parents of young children or parents of teenagers or whoever your audience is, whoever your families are. Join the buy and sell groups where you think your families might be buying and selling things, and advertise your tutoring services there, which you won't always be allowed to, but often you are allowed to advertise services there. So Facebook buy and sell groups are a great place to advertise. Facebook groups, private Facebook groups, are a great place to network, which is not the same as advertising, but it can still get you more students. So Facebook groups is my number two suggestion, and they are free. Everything on this list is free. And number three is good old Instagram and TikTok. Now, this is a total grind. I know. And I was really like kind of angry about this when I first started tutoring. I was like, I got into this because I want to teach, I want to work with students, I want to develop programs, I want to develop resources. This is where I want to spend my time. I don't want to be on Instagram and TikTok and spending all my time on there, because it takes time, actually. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of planning, it takes a lot of thought, and it's not easy to be consistent on those platforms, but it's free. It's free advertising, and people get students from there. People get a lot of students from there. I have personally, because, and I'll tell you why, because I have never been consistent for long enough. I've personally never gotten a student from Instagram or TikTok, but I I've gotten my name out there, and I've gotten a lot of followers, and people, sometimes you can't measure that type of exposure, and people do see me on those platforms, and sometimes they need to see you on in different places, like, oh, they've seen your flyer. Hey, I saw them on Instagram. And when they've seen you in different places, then they'll be like, wow, okay, now I want to hire this tutor. So the more you can get yourself out there, the more you can get your message out there, the more you can get your face out there, the more you can get your service out there, the better it's going to be. So why wouldn't you go on Instagram and TikTok? They're free. And here is a super lazy person's hack for Instagram and TikTok, because I'm totally the lazy Instagram TikTok person. If you film a short video on TikTok, this is what happens for me anyway. I use an Android phone. If you film a short video on TikTok, the video saves to your phone, And then you have it there already edited, already with the stickers on it and the whatever stuff, the effects, the whatever you're putting on there. It's already done on your phone, that little video. Then boom, you can post it to Instagram. Easy peasy. Yes, it's going to have the TikTok watermark, but hey, we're just starting, we're just getting our name out there, okay? We're just getting our name out there. There's ways to remove that watermark and be more advanced about posting, but my suggestion is don't worry about that right now. I personally find all of that very overwhelming. Just post something. Just get it out there. Just get your message out there on Instagram and TikTok. Don't worry about anything else. Get in a consistent routine and build that habit. That is the most important thing for you right now, and it is free, and it's a way to get your name out there and advertise for free. So Instagram and TikTok, don't forget those two. Now, number 4 is Google My Business. And last week our video was all about Google My Business. So I'm going to link it below in the description box so that you can check it out there. Google My Business is free. It works. Oh boy, does it ever work. People will start finding you on Google. Like, that's amazing, because if you try to, get yourself found on Google through like keywords and your website and all of that kind of stuff, that's really hard, and it takes a long, long time to build up enough content and enough keywords and enough traction and all of that to get your SEO going and everything. I'm not an expert in this at all. I find it very like, woo, way over my head. So Google My Business is the easy way to get found on Google, and it's free, and it's pretty fast too. Once you get your Google My Business profile set up, it's, a matter of weeks before people start finding you on Google. So that's pretty exciting. So I'm going to link that video below for Google My Business. Watch that video and find out how you can maximize your Google My Business profile to get more students for free. And I'm telling you it works, because I know that since I have been seriously working with my Google My Business profile, I've been getting about 25% of my students, and even higher percentage than that of new leads from Google. So that's very exciting. It really does work. And number five, our last tip, but stay tuned for the bonus, which is coming up next. Number 5 is community events. So don't forget about, if your community events, especially if your students are local, and again, they can be online and they can still be local. So if your students are local to you, then get involved in community events. Summer's coming, there's going to be farmers markets. You can put up flyers there, you can set up a stand there. There's my friend Cheryl was doing parades in her community. If you live in a smaller area, you can get involved in that. I live in a big city, and you have to have like hundreds of thousands of dollars to enter a parade here with a big fancy float. So that is not a free option for me. But if you live in an area where you can go in the parade for free, then that's an option for you. School fun fairs are coming up. Those are free. You can donate a tutoring session to the school fun fair raffle, and that's a great way to get your name out there. You can set up a booth at the fun fair. There's all kinds of things you can do. So check out the events, the local events in your community, and get involved in those, because that is a really great way to get your name out there for free as well. Now, are you ready for the bonus tip? Here it comes. The big bonus tip that hardly anyone is talking about, but it works better than anything. It is networking. Networking with other tutors, networking with other business owners that serve the same families as you. That is how you're going to find lots and lots of students, and that's how you're going to build your reputation as a tutor, and that's how you're going to get your name out there so that people will start finding you. Now, how can you network with tutors? Well, it's pretty easy. Just join the tutor Facebook groups, join Tutoring Tips for Teachers, and I'm going to tell you that in our Facebook group, Tutoring Tips for Teachers, we actually have a thread there called Tutors Seeking Tutors. So if you have a student that you can't serve for whatever reason, maybe you don't tutor that particular subject, or maybe you don't tutor online, or whatever reason you can't serve them, maybe you're totally booked, you can post that in the Tutor Seeking Tutors thread, and another tutor can contact you about it, and you can refer them out to that tutor, and vice versa. If you're looking for students, You might see something in the Tutor Seeking Tutors thread, and you could contact that tutor and you might get a student that way. So that's one example of how you can network with other tutors to find students. So get out there on the Facebook groups, make some tutor friends, and network with people. And don't forget about the other service providers who serve your families as well. After school programs, art classes, piano teachers, coaches, karate classes, all of that stuff where your students go for extracurricular activities. Network with the people who run those activities as well, because you can help each other find students and families. It's great to work together, right? So I hope these 5 tips helped you a lot. And please put in the comments how you are finding your students, what's working for you. Free advertising only though. We don't want to pay for ads. What free advertising are you doing that's helping you find students? Share it with us in the comments, because that's a great way to network and learn from each other, right? I hope you liked this video, and please subscribe for more tutoring tips. Join us at the Tutoring Tips for Teachers Facebook group. We'd love to have you there, and I'll see you again in the next YouTube video. Bye everyone.